to America's Big Deal. I'm your host, Scott Evans.
And I'm Joy Mangano. Last week, America showed up to buy and supported entrepreneurs in a big way, Scott.
Big way, Joy. The buzz around this show is real. People are talking, and tonight is another chance for one of these entrepreneurs to walk out of here with at least $100,000 big deal.
America's Big Deal on USA.
Starting this Thursday, you can catch it this Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central on the USA Network. And we got the host of the show with us right now, the one and only Mr. Scott Evans. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Scott. Scott. Yeah. Hey, man, my brother, I miss you. How you been?
Brother, man, it is so good to hear your voice. It's so good to be in a city close to you. I feel like I can almost feel you, you know what I mean? Bruh, I just want to say congratulations to you. Major accomplishment, major nod, Radio Hall of Fame. You have long time been the man. It's just cool to see you, you know what I mean, when you get your flowers every once in a while, bruh. It's so cool to watch.
You know, this is the Radio Hall of Fame, man. I was talking about it earlier, Scott, because, you know, I worked on TV for the past 21 years, right?
Yeah.
And when I came into TV, it was after already having done 10 years of radio. So, and so a lot of folks really thought that it all began with MTV. And and God bless him. I always say it. My experience with MTV, the legacy I've been a part of with MTV has been golden and it's been unmatched. Radio was the first love, you know, and it's been the longest lasting love. And to be recognized by the Hall of Fame and some of these legends that's on the board, and you know, I went and did the acceptance speech last week. Even though we got inducted last year, we were able to come be a part of the ceremony last week. It was amazing, bro. I tell you, it was. I'm not one to trip on the accolades, but that was one that floored me. And then I got to share it with my daughter. You've seen my daughter before, so yeah. So it was really amazing, man. Really amazing. But thank you, Scott. You next. Come on, man. You next. You'll be in somebody's Hall of Fame. I don't know.
Listen, we out here. We're out here. It's so funny that you talk about you know, MTV being the not the start of your career, but certainly how a lot of people came to find you first, right? If they weren't listening to you on the radio before that. But there's a reason why you got to be on TRL, right? There's a reason why you became a part of the MTV family, because you were already doing this incredible work in music before. And I have told you this before, but you have been, to me, always a constant inspiration, a constant push for seeking higher, seeking greater, seeking truer. And so, like I said, to see you getting this accolade, in particular this one, and man, I smiled so big. It was so big.
Thank you, brother. Thank
you for having me back on the show, brother. We got to do this in person.
Yeah, I know, man. We keep doing this phone thing, but it's coming. It's coming. You know, it's real soon at this point. You know how it is, man. It's the time that it'll be here just around the corner. Trust me, we'll be back in the building and seeing people in person. But I'm not gonna lie to you. My bed being in the next room, it's hard to shake that.
I know, right?
It's hard to shake that.
Some of the other hosts of other shows have been like, I ain't never going back. I ain't never going back into an office. You ain't going to catch me now.
Yeah, man. Come on, man. All that sneezing in the elevator. Nobody trying to be around. Ain't nobody. But, man, keep your hands in your pockets. Keep your hands to yourself. Hey.
Elevator.
Come on, man. America's Big Deal sounds amazing. I want to talk about that. People are already starting to call for it. But, man, you know, you yourself, you know, it's not like you started on, you know, Access Hollywood. You know, you've had a long career prior to that, too. You know, the things you did with the Pacers and, you know, and all of the TV reporting you've done and covering the Grammys and sporting events, you know, and, you know, you've done a lot for yourself to get to where you are.
You know, it's funny. I'm working on this show now. Where we talk about the long road to overnight success, right? Like it's the thing that we, especially with social media now, we think that once a person is popped, once they hit, it happened to them relatively quickly, forgetting or omitting some of the details that helped them get, or the years of work that helped them get to that point and prepared them to capitalize on that opportunity. I'm telling you, America's Big Deal was an answer to a prayer. Like, we were sitting in quarantine, and I was like, man, I just want, and it was. I'm gonna be real with you, Sway, in a way that I've not before, right? Real talk. It was weeks after we found out that World of Dance was not going to be coming back, at least not for this season. How do you do a dance show with kids from all over the world in the middle of a pandemic? Like, how do you do that, right? Responsibly. Yeah. And so it was after getting the news of, like, okay, so that show's not coming back right now. What do you do? And I just remember sitting down and kind of meditating on, okay, I want the next thing that I work on to be a reflection of this energy of lifting up small business, of helping people who have managed to survive this incredibly unprecedented scenario that is a pandemic, right? With a small business, being able to help grant them the American dream, being able to present them with an opportunity to do what they do best, and invite America to be a part of the process of taking their situation to the next level. And so when Joy's office, Joy Mangano, the woman who, the Miracle Mop, right?
Yeah, the Miracle, yeah, she's paid.
Jennifer Lawrence played her and won a Golden Globe for playing her in a movie about her life. I interviewed Joy years ago in promotion for that movie, and we just had this great vibe. And so when I got a call from her office that they were working on this show and looking at a host, I went in kind of pitching myself. They came into the meeting kind of pitching me the show. And so I remember getting off the call and being like, okay, so wait, I don't know how that went. And my agents were like, what do you mean you don't know how that went? They want you. Like, it's like, this is what we're doing. And so I just remember kind of scratching my head and being like in awe of how life can work out in a way when you remain consistent and you remain prayerful and you remain true to yourself, how things can kind of work out, because my dream in that effort was really actually coming true. And so America's Big Deal is all about, every episode we've got 4 entrepreneurs that pitch their product to America. And I heard you talk about Shark Tank. It is similar to Shark Tank in that we have entrepreneurs and that we have a panel, but that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Right? That's pretty much it. We are a live television show every week, and so the 4 entrepreneurs get to pitch their product to America. It's a product that you have and that you have already sold. It's not an idea that you have. It's not like a concept or what's it called? Your first run. Like, you have perfected it. This is what it is, and this is how it's going, right? And so
wait, let me just to be clear, the product is already on the market. It's just small business.
Product is already, product is already on the market. It's not a concept that you have or an idea that you think could go if you could just find a manufacturer. It's something you have already sold potentially thousands of units of, hundreds of units of, right? Something that you just need to go to the next level. And so you then get an opportunity to pitch to tell your story to America, and then to pitch your product. Hard sell for 2 minutes. You get 2 minutes to sell your product to America in these really over-the-top, really creative scenarios, right? And then America gets to buy your product in real time.
Oh, so my gosh.
If you're killing your pitch and you're like, listen, this is why you need this, and you're demonstrating the Joy always says, the features and the benefits of your product, you're killing your pitch, America is buying it in real time. And the entrepreneur who sells the most not only gets to keep the money that they sell, right, or that they earn, but they then get to stand in front of a retail titan panel of Lowe's, Macy's, and QVC and HSN.
Wow.
Who then say, we believe in you so much that we want a purchase order, and the offer is at least $100,000 or more. In our last episode, it was $200,000, and the titans, our retail panel, were outbidding each other. Like, there was a bidding war in live television over this this couple's product. They had created this 5-in-1 chair. It was like a lever. It was a chair. It was a beach chair. It was it was a tent. It was an airplane. It was an automobile. I mean, it basically did.
Wow.
But $200,000. Yeah, right there in that minute.
So let me get this straight. First of all, and this is so aligned with what we do here on this show. We got a segment we do called Sway Chats. It's like TED Chats, but you just get a minute to pitch your thing. It's a lot of what I found, Scott, is what we found is because of the quarantine, as an effect of the quarantine, and people losing work and people losing jobs or being laid off, a lot of folks picked up their entrepreneurial spirit and start creating side hustles. Those side hustles became the main hustle. And so I'm sure you guys have like droves of people who would try to submit and audition for this show. How does that process work?
Thousands. We had thousands of people. The ABD team scoured the country for weeks looking for products that were, again, already on the market. Not market ready, but already on the market. Because, again, you have to be able to fulfill, like, let's say you get on the show, you need to be able to fulfill at minimum for the participation of the show, you need to be able to fulfill, I believe it's a $30,000 minimum order just to be on the show. And then you need to be, if you get a deal that's worth $200,000 like this couple did last episode, you need to be able to fulfill that order, right? And so if it's all happening in the basement and it's all in boxes in the basement, if you can't fulfill the $200,000 order, it might not be ready yet. You know what I'm saying? And I certainly don't say that as a mean to discourage anybody, but if anything, to dig deeper and figure out how you can, what is within your own resources to help take things to the next level, to help cement your product and your offering in the marketplace. What I'll also tell you is that the really cool thing about this show is that I was nervous about America being the kind of key into this dream that we're helping grant every week, right? So it's the American viewer is the voter, so to speak. The first episode was a black woman. The second episode was a black woman. The third episode, our latest episode, were two white women who were married together.
Okay. Yeah.
To each other. And so it's saying to me that like the product is king.
The product is king.
If we believe in this thing and believe in what you're selling, we're down, and in a major way. You know what I mean?
Okay, so it's not saying no men allowed to you at all? I mean, you just said something different to me, Scott.
You said so. So basically what I'm hearing is this is a man's game. Okay, I got it.
No, I'm joking. There'll be plenty of men everywhere on TV, so that's never a problem. This is awesome.
Exactly.
I want to go back because I got people calling right now. If you call Carlin, I'm going to come to you. I always say your name wrong. Adrian, Vince, Sean, I'm going to come to you. It's a lot of lines lighting up. Let's go back to...
We got time.
Okay. People, I'm on a show. All right? I'm on America's Big Deal. I'm pitching my product. For example, me and Big Horse, Heather's husband, have a line called Bridge Business, BIZNESS. It's clothes. It's merch, but in that merch, you got sneakers, you got all this, all sorts of stuff. We do donations to cancer research, all sorts of stuff, hoodies. And so I'm, Horse is on, he's running the line. So Horse is on America's Big Deal, and he's pitching it, and he's talking about some of the charities that the funding is going to. While he's pitching it, in real time, people could be purchasing Bridge Business product, right? And America's Big Deal doesn't take a cut of any of it?
So here's what I'll tell you. What I know for sure is that Joy's entire perspective on this show, the entire purpose of this show, was to lift up small business, right?
Okay.
Was to be a champion of small business. Now, when you break down who gets a cut of what, I could not tell you that specifically, but what I can tell you is that from the very beginning, from the outset of this show, the whole intention has been to provide entrepreneurs with the opportunity that Joy Mangano had when she stood in that studio and sold her mop for the very first time, right? That she knew that she had a product that she believed in that would change the way that people would operate, how they would clean, how they would move through this particular chore in their house, and that their life as a result of that would be made better. Her whole deal is that how do I recreate that experience week after week after week? And what I can tell you is that these people are afforded an opportunity, these entrepreneurs, these individuals, these teams, these families are afforded an opportunity that you just simply couldn't get anywhere else. Mm-hmm. Even at a trade show where you are prominently featured, you're not going to have the opportunity to sell to all of America and then stand in front of Macy's, Lowe's, QVC, and HSN and allow them to not only give you constructive feedback, right, but also offer a life-changing amount of money as a purchase order, right? The other thing that this show really does well is it allows people to see, it gives Lowe's, QVC, and HSN and QVC in particular an opportunity to see in real time what America thinks about a product, right? So we had, for example, a gentleman on the very first show who had created a grip for a phone. I think also one of the things that is key about the products and the people that we have on the show is that they have found some way to innovate an offering that exists already. They found some way to change or alter something in such a way that your life is made that it totally changes the thing, right? So what he created was a phone case and a grip. So he calls it the spider grip. And he had wrestlers. He had wrestlers like WWE style wrestlers wrestling on stage, holding their phone in his spider grip, and nobody dropped their phone. Right? so it was wild. It was the very first pitch of the show. It was crazy. And I remember when I saw it in rehearsal, I was like, this is wild. Like this is not something you've ever seen on TV before. But then my other thought was, but who's going to buy this on TV? Like, who is going to see this phone grip or this phone case and be like, yeah, that's what I want? Bruh, he before the end of the night, he sold out.
What is sell out? Like, when you sell out, like how many? Like, if roughly, how many orders did he get?
And so that's the thing. So you have to be able to fulfill at minimum a $30,000 order.
Okay. All right.
So he sold $30,000 worth of product with under an hour.
Under an hour. I love it. America's Big Deal Thursdays, 9 p.m. on USA Network. Radical differentiation. We talk about that a lot on this show. What makes your product different? What makes what you do stand out? We both could be selling wristbands, but mine might have fluorescent colors on it that has some type of messaging on it that appeals more than yours. What is that differentiation? Scott Evans is with us, ladies and gentlemen. I'm opening up these phone lines, man. This guy right here, man. We ain't did a red carpet in a while, bro. Come on.
I know, right? Straight up. That's real life.
Okay.
Wait, it's so funny you talk about the radical differentiation. I think one of the things also that differentiates this show from other shows that you've seen is that this is not an investment in your company and they want stake in it. They want part of the ownership. This is an investment in you. This is a purchase order. I believe in you. I believe in this product, and I want to help take your company to the next level. But I want you to own your company and all of your company. I just want to give you a place to sell it. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's not something you've seen on TV before.
Not at all. And then there's no losing in this scenario. Like, there's no, you do the pitch and then none of the experts buy into it and you just walk away, with the same thing. You might have gotten some exposure, though. Like, there's plenty of pitches that didn't got that weren't invested in on other shows that people got the good exposure.
Exactly.
But this is like a diving board for you. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
To whatever the next level is. Look, I got a bunch of callers, Scott. I want to get to them. Kendra is on the line from Georgia. Kendra, Grand Risings.
Hey, Grand Risings. I'm just so excited right now. Hey, Sway.
How you doing, Kendra? Thank you.
Doing good. I'm so glad. I was driving back from Atlanta, and I was on the phone, and I got off the phone just in time because I'm in a pitch competition coming up in a couple of days that I have to turn in a pitch video. So the question I have for Scott is, with me, I am one of those black women that I'm a hairstylist by profession. I've been one for over 20 years, and the pandemic hit, I shut down. But just before the pandemic, November 19th, I started a side gig of hosting bingo, which is my spin on the game, though, which I credit myself for making it so exciting. So how would I've had a really tough time trying to pitch it. In the beginning, I had a tough time trying to pitch it because it's not a product, it's a service. So how would someone like me go about pitching a service to someone versus a product to sell?
Yep, I'm totally with you. So here's what I would say. I am excited and proud for you, of you, that in this time you were able to kind of dig deep, pivot, and figure out what else can I offer, what else can I do, and that this, while it may seem like for some people like okay, cool, so she's playing bingo, like you're also sowing this kind of energy, this renewal of energy into people's lives, you know, allowing them a moment, an opportunity to either escape some of the mess that might be surrounding them, but also lifting their spirits, right? So I think that the thing that would be most dynamic is you've got to figure out a way to capture the energy that you say that you generate in this experience. I think that you want to think about video, and you want to think about video, storytelling, and social media, right? I think you want to capitalize on your unique offering, but in order to do that, people need to see it. I think you also need to protect, though, the way that you show it, so that you're not giving away necessarily, I don't know, maybe a trade secret or.
And that's what I'm afraid of. That's what I was really most afraid of, because I felt like I exposed myself to just expose myself, because people, they'll see it, they're like, oh my God, that's so creative. How did you come up with that? They're questioning, you know, it feels like they're questioning, you know, I don't know. Just it's
no, they're trying to ask you, how did you come up with that, so they can learn how to do it themselves.
What's the sauce? And so you've got to figure out how to present the dish without giving up the recipe, which means somehow, you know, you may interact with the people who are in attendance and talk about how exciting it is for them and how often they look forward to it. You may want to capture on social media and in video formats the way that you promote your event. You may want to also capture in video and on social media people who have formed either teams or connections as a result of coming to your event or participating in your service. You know what I mean? I think you also have to, and I would ask that you pray about this, you meditate on this, you think about it on your own, but you also have to wrap your mind around, I know this is going to sound crazy, that if this is truly you, there is always more where this comes from. That you can't be so afraid to share or to you can't become so afraid or so attached to this one thing that you don't free yourself enough to share it in ways that help promote it, that help build it, that help grow it, right? And so you've got to figure out, one, what are some of the other ideas that you have, how you can implement them to maybe even sweeten this thing a little bit more, right? But also how you can trust the source of this thing for you is so real that regardless of who tries to do it, that it it ain't you, it ain't the same. That if it's not your service, it's not the same. And that this is the one you want because this is the one that changes it all. You know what I'm saying? You got to believe, you got to trust, you got to know.
That's how I'm selling it.
Yep.
Exactly. So keep moving in that.
I'm hosting in restaurants and bars, and it's doing good, with bringing them business. And I'm thankful that I have the opportunity to do it because I know at one point I was laughed at, just for mentioning that I want to start it, as a business because I really enjoy the game itself.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just.
So I would sort out very specifically. I would sort out your story, how you came to be a person who was facilitating this particular game, right? I would talk about the impact that it has made for businesses and for people who participate. I would capture the energy, the essence, some behind the scenes of like you in action, why this is so dynamic, why you are the one, right? And then I would include your request. Like, what part, what thing, what little hinge would help swing this thing in a much larger and a much wider direction, and then take it from there. It sounds like you've got the energy. It sounds like you've got the idea, and now it's just about the way that you tell the story.
Wow, man, this guy, Scott Evans, man, he's everything. Ain't he, Kendria?
Sway,
yes.
You know what? I called a couple weeks ago. I was one of those people that really didn't care for you too much. I was so shallow. I was young. I was a teenager back in the 90s. And I was like, I just don't like Sway. I don't know what it was. But I love you. I love you. You're awesome. You have just... I was late. I was like, what was I thinking? I don't know who I thought I was then. But I know I appreciate you now more than ever. Your show is so inspirational. It really does. Like, I'm so glad you took that song off. Like, when you did that rewind, when that Too Short song came on.
Oh, my God.
I was like, look at him. You're conscious. You're conscious. And,
aware.
Thank you, Kendria. Kendria,
yes.
Let me say this too, and I appreciate that. You get Scott probably received it too. I don't know. You never know how people receive you when you probably. I don't know if you saw me on TV or whatever the circumstances I was in. But I appreciate you hanging in there and giving me a shot to like me, Kendria. I was going to add too. Thank you. I was going to add too. As Scott was talking, I was thinking about magicians, right? Like David Copperfield or David Blaine or Chris Angel or whoever, Houdini, Penn and Teller. They all do magic, right? But they all do something different with it. And so even if somebody tries to take what it is that you bring to the table, they can't bring you to the table. Keep that in mind. All right. Always keep that in mind. And then you have other ways you could utilize this. It doesn't even have to be at a club or a bingo hall. You could approach corporations who do employee building. Some people go on retreats, and this gang can find ways to bring people together. You could kind of tweak the bingo game itself. There's so many different ways you could present this, Kendria. And you know what? When you first start calling, I will say this. I didn't know if I liked you either. But after the day... After the day, Kendria, I really like you, okay? You're a citizen, all right, Kendria?
And my whole thing is convivial K. The people in Georgia and Columbus, they know me. Convivial means friendly, lively, and enjoyable. And bingo is B-I-N-G, go. It's the extra G for the games in between. So I'm just happy.
Now.
You have really delighted my day and lifted my spirits. I'm glad that it's all in timing, and it's just, you just got to keep pushing forward and believing in yourself,
Absolutely.
Regardless.
Thank you.
Yep.
Absolutely. And thank you, Kendria. I appreciate your honesty, and that's how we rock. All right. You're a citizen, super citizen. All right. There go DB. DB.
Yes, sir.
Did you want to say hi to Scott? I forgot. I didn't mean to hog the conversation.
You forgot I was here?
No, I didn't mean to hog. Yeah, okay, I forgot. Hey, man.
Just a quick question. You guys were joking about like doing red carpets and the in-person working together stuff that revolves around television and journalism and radio and that sort of thing. Sway, you've often talked about having to, I guess, coach people that were new to the red carpet when you were doing, the VMAs and all these other big shows. Scott, did you have to coach Joy with doing TV hosting? I mean, she seems pretty natural, but I mean, you never know what goes on behind the scenes. Sometimes people can be nervous, and then when the lights come on, it's like, oh shit, deer in headlights kind of thing. So did you have to give her any tips?
No, man, she's been working on live TV since the very beginning. You know what I mean? And she works on shows that last, 3 hours, 4 hours. It can sometimes be in the middle of the night into the wee hours of the morning. She needed no coaching when it came to live TV. She also isn't the kind of person. She is the kind of person that understands how high the stakes are. And she is the kind of person that also wants this to be a moment in time. We share a prayer before every episode. And I hope that she's okay with me sharing this with you, but we share a prayer before the beginning of every episode that we remain a reflection of the light that has been shown to us in our lives, and that our purest intention is not to make moments, but to allow them to be vessels of dreams being granted to people who deserve and believe that the work was always going to bring this kind of experience to themselves, not just for themselves, but also for their families and communities around. And so after we share that at the beginning of the show, everything else, not trying to be funny, everything else is easy. You know what it's like to be on a live broadcast. It's like being shot out of a cannon. Like, the time flies. By the time we've done, by the time we have moved beyond the hello of the show into the final act, which is the America's big deal, like them accepting a big offer from one of these heavyweights in industry, it feels like 10 minutes has passed, right? And it's been a whole hour. In fact, in our second show, we actually went over 3 minutes because there was just so much happening in that final act. So, yeah, man, she doesn't need any coaching from me. Not at all. Not at all. She's got it.
She's got it, huh? Yeah. Miracle Mop. All right. We got she's been doing this, huh? Let's go to New Orleans. We got Carlin on the line. Grand Risings. How you doing?
Grand Risings. Can you hear me okay?
Yep. Indeed. Did I say it correctly this time? Did I say it correctly?
And that's what I wanted to tell Kendra. Keep pushing, and even they'll learn how to say your name correctly. You just got to keep pushing. And I commend Sway today on getting that straight. And Scott, I know every time you come on, yes, keep laughing, Sway. Scott, every time you come on to get a master's class from this man, I know it must give you chills, because just hearing you two interact, I see you as that student looking at the master teacher, and I commend you for you going up the ranks towards receiving that same statehood, so to speak, in everything that you've done. I want to commend you, and you look so good. When I was watching World of Dance, I'm looking at what you got on, what J-Lo got on. I'm looking at what everybody has on, y'all teeth, and it's just beautiful to see my brown brothers and sisters just keep climbing these ladders in this crazy business that y'all call show. And especially with Kendra going back to help her with the adult bingo, just like Sway said, you need to be approaching those liquor distribution companies that have the events, got the girls with the bottles popping. Mm-hmm. They need to give you some money to also do those games. So, I'm here to help the people as well, but I commend you, Scott, on this show, because I love the fact that unlike Shark Tank, if you're not selling right then and there, almost, which is why I'm glad you have QVC, because if you're not selling right then and there, then you got to go back to the drawing board. If you're not showing that your recipe, as we talked about with Kendra, that your recipe is worth me continuing to come back to your Dookie Chase, then we know that we can't even come to your restaurant. So it's just things like that that people get to see from watching this show, and to see the folks when they sell out is just amazing. Because I know that's how I am with QVC. It's like they tell you how many left. You got this time, get this, or it's gone. But I would also think in the background, the shadow of it all, that somebody like Damon John is looking to be an angel investor and watching this and seeing who he can come and piggyback on.
Good point.
You see what I'm saying? I'm going to leave you with that nugget right there, and I thank y'all, and I love y'all. And Sway got my name right.
Come on, Carlin. Come on.
She hangs up on people that says Carolyn. That was all during my school year.
That's right.
Well, I was going to say, Carolyn, baby, you have the wrong number.
She would hang up. Ooh, your mama gangster.
She would hang up.
Like, tell her I said, hey.
Your name, because if you're not telling them your name correctly, then you doing something wrong.
There it is. Come on. Tell.
Now you know me, boo. And now you know me, boo.
Come on. I got it right today, damn it. Carla, you have a beautiful day. Thank you. And you always keep us with a gym. I take notice. That's why I take your calls.
It's the sapphire of the Libra, baby. It's the sapphire of the Libra.
Okay. Have a beautiful day. You know you're a citizen.
I'll sway in the morning.
Oh, man. Hey, how much time you got?
I got about 7 more minutes before I got to be on another call. But I do want to tell you this way, and I want to, and she brought it up, and it's like I can't not let you know. You know what I mean? I remember sitting down to watch TRL and seeing you on stage, holding that MTV microphone with that live audience behind you and the Times Square in the windows behind you, and just believing that, and this is the kind of stuff that makes me emotional every time I think about it, because it's like I know that the reason I'm sitting here able to talk about this incredible show that I'm working on now, and this new opportunity that NBC and Universal has given me with this overall and first look deal, that I'm here because I was able to believe I should be or could be because you already were, right? Seeing you stand there with that microphone in authority, belonging, allowed me to dare to dream enough, long enough to work toward it. And so now to have been kind of granted these, what feel like a unique set of keys by NBC TV and Universal with this deal beyond the television show, as a person, they're saying, bring us more stories, bring us more characters, bring us more of you because we believe in you. I know that only happened because I could look to see you in the first place. And so, you know, I try to make sure that you know that every time that we interact, but there was something about her energy that, like, I got emotional, man. It's just like, it's a really cool thing.
Oh, Scott, man. Cool thank you, man. Listen, brother, I appreciate it. And, you know, folks say I don't take the flowers enough. I do take them. I just absorb them differently. And I really appreciate it, man. And I can relate to it because there's been people that gave me the audacity as well. And I was talking about, you know, like Donnie Simpson, Don Cornelius, you know, a lot of these folks gave me the audacity to do what you're saying in the same way that I might have spurred your audacity. And so I'm a little shaken up right now, Scott. You got me wavering right now. I'm teared up right now. But, man, I appreciate it. But let me tell you how this works, too. Because I watch you on Access Hollywood, and I watch you on World of Dance, and it comes full circle. You know what I mean? So it's almost like reciprocity because I'm feeding off of you too. So it goes both ways. It's a two-way street, and I've always been conscious of that. I've always been aware of that. You know, it's tit for tat. You know, it's yin and yang. It's pity pat, and so. The same energy you may have received from me. It might have been a little different, though, because being on MTV at that time was really rare. And I was in a whole nother mindset, man. I was in a whole nother mindset. And I wanted to do my purpose for being on MTV was to do exactly what you just said, to inspire Scott Evans and all around the world. And I'm trying to think of a female version of Scott. Scotia Evans all around the world, women and men all around the world, black women and men, women and men of color that you don't see in these places where it wasn't a whole lot of representation. That's what that was for, man. So I appreciate you saying it. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, man. We out here, baby.
We out here. One more call, though. You said 7 minutes. There's 2 minutes left. Sean, go ahead real quick. Sean in Austin. Go ahead, Sean.
Hey, Sway. Good Grand Rising to everybody.
Grand Risings.
My call.
Absolutely. Well, hold up. Let me say who this is. Let me hold up, Sean. Hold up. This is let me be totally transparent. This is a friend of mine, okay, from DMV Arms that I talk about often. And Sean's mother, if you ever smell me and you look at my skin and you think I smell good and my skin is clean, it's because of his mom.
Okay.
All right.
I appreciate that. And that's exactly why I'm calling this morning. I'm not trying to plug DMV Arms. I'm here for Mom.
Oh, sweet.
Business owner. She has a soap store in North Carolina. She has some challenges because she's a senior citizen. She's a retired educator, dedicated her life to education. She's actually started a public library back in our hometown of Garysburg, North Carolina. You've never heard of it because it's super small, but she's always given back. But we're from an area where we don't have the technology to support small business. Where I'm from, where I grew up in the house that she lives in, the fastest internet we can get is 2 meg. Let that sink in. And it's $65 a month. So she's very disadvantaged when it comes to trying to host this online business. So it's a family business. I run the website. My older brother, who lives close to her, does the logistics for her. So he prints off the labels, takes it to her house, and she fulfills the order. So it's a whole process. Me and Texas live in North Carolina. But as Sway can attest, she has a great product. And I would like to get her soap product out there to the masses. The name of her store is Natural Sense Aromatherapy. And we try to get Sway something new every few months. Try this fragrance and see how you like it. And the feedback has been great. So what would you suggest for, a small business like this that has those technology constraints because of where we're from?
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you this, and this I don't want you to take this as a bad thing. I just want you to take it as a challenge that you've got to figure out how to overcome. Your story is not unique. And what I mean by that is not that it isn't important and that it isn't part of what makes what you do special or good or better than others, but you've got to figure out a way to tell that story, right, to reach more and more people. And the part about the story to me that struck me was that this is a family business and a family effort that has identified we are all we got. Right?
Correct.
And so figuring out a way beyond the internet connection or the dial-up quality or what have you, figuring out a way to capture the elements of your story, the components of your story, and the product, and positioning it in a way that is as true as possible, so that because it is not this terribly unique, first time ever heard kind of scenario, that other people who can identify it with it will believe in you or invest in you or support you because they see themselves in you, right? And so finding a way to connect with all of these other kind of not just mom and pop or small family, small business endeavors, but people who are in it with each other, for each other, right? Finding ways to connect with them, to build them. Maybe there's a way in your region or in your area, in your community, to create a collective so that you and your family cover the products for skincare and apothecary, offerings. Someone else does baked goods or scarves and garments. Someone else does sunglasses, and this is the family collective, right? All of these families have come together with the products that they've created together to sell together to offer to you, and maybe it's a box that could be sent then. A subscription box that could be sent. And you talk about offering Sway something different every couple months, and the response has been great. How do you recreate that experience for people across the country, maybe even around the world? You know what I mean? That would be my first approach. Not necessarily abandoning or changing what you do, how you do, but how can you incorporate more resources, more people in a way that is still true to each and everybody's vision and dream, but that you can then create a box that covers everything.
Okay.
And maybe that's the name of the box. We got you covered.
Ooh. I like that. You better trademark it. Hey, Sean, say your mom's name, Sean.
My mom is Dr. Beverly Underdew.
Dr. Beverly?
Underdew. Underdew.
Underdew. Okay. Dr. Bev, man, send my love to her. Tell her the bath salt. I think Kelly Kincaid has the bath salt. So I'll give you feedback on that. And then I'll use the soap every single day. And they're pretty, too.
That was a strange text conversation, wasn't it?
say that again?
That was a strange text conversation when I asked you about that bath salt, wasn't it?
That was different. Like he said a message, yeah. My mom wants to know, do you bathe or something like that?
I was like, it was like crazy question. My mom wants to know, do you take baths or showers? I don't care. Like, it's not something I want to ask them. I don't want to ask them if you take a bath. That's not something that I want to. But you do what you do for mom.
Oh man, I love your mom. Tell her I said hi, and keep going. Stay the course. Sean, we'll talk soon, man. Take care, brother. All right. All right, Scott, man, thank you for bringing so much information and joy and energy to this show today. And your words really resonated on my heart, man, and I appreciate it every time. Every time.
You are the man. You are the man. Absolutely. Thank you for having me. This is always one of my favorite places to be.
Oh, thank you, man. You guys follow him at I Am Scott Evans. Scott with 2 T's. I Am Scott Evans. That's his social. And make sure you check him out Thursday night, 9 p.m., USA Network, America's Big Deal. Thank you, Scott. Have a beautiful day, brother.
Boom, baby. You do the same.
My man.